Here we are working the Tonopah dump here. There's Steve out there trying to get some goodies, sifting. There's the area we've been working, just loaded with stuff. Some sifting areas. There's John up there sifting.
Coins, dude.
Nice little twister here. John over there just ignoring it.
I gotta admit, I'm getting discouraged.
You're dying, man. The ghost all just fell on me.
Up, there it goes. Pretty much died. So here we are back in Nevada, ghost towning. This ghost town dates back to the 1860s, and amazingly there are still some wooden structures in pretty good condition. Well, excellent condition given the age. But up here you can see all the mine tailings and still a stamp mill here, which is pretty cool. Here we are a little closer to the stamp mill. It's pretty cool. This says Joshua Hendry Iron Works, San Francisco, California. So you come down here, you can see definitely it's seen better days, but it's still there. Remnants of the rock wall. Probably processed a lot of silver and gold out here. Alright, here we are hunting another ghost town. Pretty nice day out. A little hot, but getting some breeze, a little cloud cover out every now and then. So I've been going and going and going and getting a whole lot of nothing for the most part. Using the AT doing pretty good. Got a lot of flat iron, like rusty flat cans and stuff like that, lids and things like that, and it's getting those. They don't sound very good, so they're not too hard to tell, but sometimes they sound pretty good and you still dig them up. So anyway, there's the AT Pro. I just got a really nice signal, like 80, and dug down, and here's my hole, and I got a nice disc. There's been nothing up here. So let's see what we got here. Oh yeah. I don't know if you can see that. Good for 5 cents in trade. Okay, well, unfortunately it's a Maverick because it says the same thing on both sides. Good for 5 cents in trade. But that's awesome. I'll take a token any day from a ghost town. So let's see if we can't find some more. I'm gonna have to work this spot over. Hopefully it isn't a Maverick. Hopefully it's got some friends out here. Check in with you later and we get something else. Alright, we're out here still hitting this ghost town where I found a good for 5 cent in trade token not too long ago, and I got another really nice signal, and still hunting with the AT Pro here, and dug down here, not very deep at all, maybe 4 inches deep, and this time no Maverick. So 25 cents Ludwig Club, this side here, good for 25 cents in trade. So awesome, 2 tokens in one day, that's a first for me. Hopefully there's more tokens out here and maybe we can find some silver coins. Okay, I wanted to share with you some of my better finds I've made hunting ghost towns this summer on the Ghost Town Adventures. And right here we can see a pile of railroad seals that were found at various times. And these are lead seals that the railroad lines used to seal the railroad cars so that when they were received, basically they could tell that it hadn't been tampered with and all the contents were intact. And as we can see here in the front, there's this one that's marked T&G Railroad, or T&G R&R, which stands for Tonopah Goldfield Railroad. Most of these are marked and they have numbers, a lot of the same numbers, but there is a variety of different numbers. And it was very commonplace for railroads to use these back in the day. And most of these railroads are long defunct. I mean, this railroad line here probably ended in the 20s or 30s, maybe 40s at the latest. Probably was limping around at the very end. And again, most of these railroads, there's almost no remnants left of them. There's no railroad line. There's pretty much nothing left in most of these ghost towns to even indicate there ever was a railroad, aside from the railroad bed itself that came in, and even a lot of those are gone. So it's, in my opinion, it's a lot of fun to find these little railroad seals. It's just a nice little remnant of the past that basically is long since gone. Okay, so we're going to move over here. What ghost town would be complete without finding a suspender buckle? So you find quite a variety of these buckles. They're pretty neat. They're not valuable unless maybe they're made out of silver or gold, obviously. But aside from that, most of them you find are pressed metal with embossings on them. And you can see in the middle here, I got kind of a neat little collection of these President ones going there. Yeah, they're all different, fancy embossed, very Victorian designs. Just a nice little window into the past, everyday ornamentation when people were wearing their duds out in the work field and play. Okay, now we go next here to the marbles. I think marbles are a lot of fun. Obviously you're not finding these with your metal detector because they're not made out of metal. But on the bottom, we can see on the right hand side a real nice flow blue Bennington. On the left hand side there, we can see a real nice brown spotted Bennington. The marble in the center is actually made out of glass, and it's kind of like a white swirl agate type of glass marble. The top two are just standard clay marbles. Those are pretty common to find. Okay, so we're going to move over here. Not really sure what the milk glass eagle is. I suspect it may have been top of a fancy milk glass plate, or potentially even were several of these that surrounded a plate, some type of American patriotic plate. But very much like the eagle on this button. And buttons are a lot of fun to find in ghost towns. Some buttons you find can be quite rare. Find a railroad button or some other type button that are very, very collectible. I haven't found any really exciting buttons, but a button right here at the top under that milk glass eagle is a nice circa World War I or a little earlier general service button. The button underneath it to the left says Stronghold on it. Button on the very bottom says Payday on it. And then the 2 white buttons are actually not metal at all. They were just eyeball finds. The button on the right is some kind of a mother of pearl. And then the button on the left, which is really tiny, some little cuff button probably, ladies' fancy cuff button, is some kind of like carved ivory, looks like. I would say it probably is ivory or possibly bone. And it's got a carving in it. I don't know if that'll pick up on the video, but it's a neat little button. Nice little eyeball find. Okay, now we're going to move over to the Victorian Jewelry. which you do find. Not a lot of it, but there's a little bit out there, just like hunting a modern park. Every once in a while, you're going to get lucky and find a piece of jewelry. Although, unfortunately, just like hunting a modern park, most of the jewelry you find is junk jewelry. So, such is the case here. On the top, we see what probably is some kind of maybe a child's ring. Next to that, to the left, is back of some kind of a gold locket or possibly a lady's pocket watch that was gold plated. And to the left of that, some kind of a little pendant, has a gray pearl in the middle. Probably gold filled or gold plated material. And it's got a little wire weave around the outside with some little hematite beads. Left of that, we've got a neat little silver earring piece there, probably was attached to something else and broke off. Below that, to the left, I'm not really sure what that is. It's hard to see, but it actually has a letter B engraved in it. So to the right of that is a nice little mother of pearl cufflink. And then to the right of that is, I think, some kind of a cufflink type piece as well. And it may be a little hard to tell in here, but it has a pretty neat green polished stone in there, like maybe an agate or malachite type of stone. And then to the right of that, we've got another cufflink there with a nice little design. And underneath that is a pretty neat little gold-plated pin, fully intact. That was a pretty interesting find up on the side of a hill in a ghost town, so you just never know where you're going to find stuff. It was a totally unobvious spot, and we just decided to check it out, and we did find a few things. So you never know. Okay, moving right along here. We've got a pretty cool little key here. I don't know if that's a handcuff key or maybe it's a watch key or a small clock key. That thimble right there is kind of neat. It looks like these were given away as advertisement type pieces back in the day. And this particular thimble here, it's probably hard to see, but it says White Silver Star. And when I googled that, apparently that was some type of a advertising piece that was given away to promote soap. So just like now, they had advertisements. Here we've got a nice little collection of mineral specimens. So obviously ghost towns, most of them were mining camps, and they're very rich in minerals. Obviously this, Nevada's got gold, silver, copper, all types of minerals out there. So each place has a unique set of minerals to find out there. So here we can see a nice piece of quartz, various types of copper ore, including some turquoise, and we've got a nice piece, interesting piece in the very center there. That's actually a natural piece of copper ore. It's not shiny like a copper penny because it's been sitting in the ground. But that's what a natural piece of copper ore looks like coming out of the ground. So some fool's gold there. I think the piece on the bottom has a little piece of gypsum fused on there with some copper ore. You can even see there's a little bit of fool's gold on the side there. That piece has all kinds of different minerals fused together. So kind of fun to find some neat rocks out there. If you're interested in rocks and minerals in general, they're definitely out there. Alright, so kind of saved the most exciting, at least to me, for the last. So coins are really hard to find in ghost towns, I'm telling you. So when you find a coin, it's a really exciting moment. This wheat penny on the top left, that's actually a key date wheat penny. Beautiful condition, 1911S. Found my very first ever barber quarter, $18.99. That was really exciting. I actually thought when I dug it out of the sand that it actually was a token, but lo and behold, there was my first barber quarter. Then, probably about 20 feet away from it, got another great signal, and I dug out this beautiful 1917 Walking Liberty half. Got a later silver dime there, so you never know what you're going to find. We've got an Indian head here in the center left, a couple more wheat pennies next to it, and then really kind of, in my opinion, one of the heyday or one of the monumental finds that you can find in a ghost town. Because coins, you can find coins anywhere. And yeah, you could technically find coins anywhere. They show up in parks and things like that, especially in scrapes. But they're more prevalent to find in ghost towns, and they really tie into that history, you know, what people were doing. And the real fun factor, for me at least, is finding a token in a ghost town that is the same ghost town where you found the token. And that's tough to do. But here you can see we've got 3 different tokens here. Left one's good for 5 cents in trade, the center one's good for 25 cents in trade, and the one on the right is also good for 5 cents in the trade. So 3 nice tokens there. I'll flip them over, we can see a little more detail here. Okay, so this token here turns out to be a Goldfield, Nevada company. I think it was a general store or a saloon. The one in the center turns out to be from Ludwig, Nevada. Pretty hard token to find from what I can figure out with the research online. I haven't seen but one example on there. And the token on the far right, unfortunately, it's a Maverick. It says exactly the same thing on both sides, so it's basically impossible to identify exactly where it came from. But still, finding a token in a ghost town is a lot of fun, and it's really, in my opinion, a neat little piece of history to find out there. So here you can see, it's a lot of fun hunting ghost towns. It's a lot of work. You dig a lot of junk, and believe me, these ghost towns have been hit for the last 30, 40 years hard. Bottle hunters, metal detectors, people out there sifting, you name it. I mean, they're all out there trying to find goodies too, and this has been going on for a long time. So you're getting the leftovers of the leftovers of leftovers from the last 30, 40 years of people out there trying to find little goodies and trinkets in these ghost towns. But they are still out there, so it's just a lot of fun. See you next time.